He had guys in the alleys, the running alleys, all the way down the line, and T-Boy tried to give a nice stiff arm, but he had nowhere to run there.
Yeah, the DNs and the linebackers for Waukee did a great job making T-Boy keep extending that play to the sideline, and eventually he ran out of room. So it's 4th and 6. Benson will be back to punt again for the Dragons. His second punt of the night, his first punt into the wind was a short one. Waukee has two people back, a short back and a deep back. Number 1, Brett Hawk is the guy that's deep. He'll be the one that bounces the ball in front, and it's going to skid to the 39, 38-yard line. They'll probably mark it at the 39-yard line, and that's where Waukee will start for their second possession of the game. So a better punt from Benson, a little worse field position, but Johnston's going to have to start getting that ball moving on the offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, getting the ball roughly at the 40-yard line for this offense for Waukee, that still seems like a pretty short field for this type of offense. So, like you said, Johnston's really got to stiffen up. I think tonight you're going to see a little more balance out of Waukee, run, pass, and so they're going to be a little more unpredictable, whereas they were pretty pass-heavy coming into this game.
So the whistle blows here, and action is stopped. Not sure exactly if this is a clock. Oh, they're resetting the play clock. So the chains are ready. The officials are ready. We're just a clock issue here that they're resetting. So we're at 7 minutes and 30 seconds in the first quarter. The ball's on the 39. Firkin is in shotgun. He's got Cade Penn off to the side and Linneman in the backfield. Linneman is going to gain, it looked like a fumble on the play. Siedenberg, number 24 for Johnston, is pointing in the other direction. I think the ball ended up being loose, and Johnston's going to recover. So a big hit there by the Dragons, and a turn of events here. This ball was pointed towards the Dragons. The officials regroup, change their mind, and to give the ball back to Waukee. So some miscommunication there from the officials. Originally it was going to give it to the Dragons. Coach Woodley is asking some questions about what happened here. Waukee's trying to hustle to the line of scrimmage and get a play going. And it's going to be Waukee's ball.
Yeah, that was really the change that Johnston was needing. So the break goes to Waukee to start off the game here.
So Firkin's going to throw a bubble screen to the outside. And
that's really well covered by the Dragons there.
I didn't see the receiver on that. It looked like that might have been Adam Rose.
Yep.
On the outside. They made him go to the inside. That's where a lot of the coverage was. So great job there by the Johnston Dragons secondary. So Firkin is back in shotgun. We got trips off to his right. Carl Rasmussen, Jaron Proctor, and Carter Wunsch are off to that left-hand side. Adam Rose, number 5, is the single wide receiver to the left. And they're going to throw to him against single coverage on that outside. An incomplete pass.
Yeah, that was a complete pass to Rose.
Complete pass. It's just there's a little laundry on the field here.
Yeah, I think the defensive back for Johnston got in there a little bit earlier. Definitely, they found the freshman out there going attacking right at number 13 for the Dragons, Anthony Coleman. So
Waukee's plan early in this game is to look to that sideline and find wherever the young freshman is playing and really look to attack. So Coleman's going to have his work cut out for him tonight. A very talented athletic freshman. However, he's getting a taste of varsity CIML football tonight, so he's really being challenged. A very good athlete. And a short gain again in the middle. Looked like Siedenberg and number 24 and also number 4, Jackson Clausen, come in to make the tackle. So the strength of Johnston's defense is probably the linebackers. They have 3 senior linebackers that have played together for a really long time. Number 4, Jackson Clausen, number 8, Carl Rasmussen, and number 24, Eric Siedenberg. So Firkin is going to be in the shotgun. He's looking to the outside. The ball's thrown to Proctor. Proctor jumps up to make a play. Kind of went in between his hands, and it looked like that was a play that Proctor, if he would have kept running deep instead of cut to the middle, might have had a better angle on that to make that interception. But nonetheless, it's a stop for the Dragons. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
It was a nice play by Proctor, cutting underneath that. I mean, the ball going in the wind, cutting underneath it was the right call. He just needed one more step before he did his leap, and leap was just off a little bit. But big play here, 3rd down. Johnston can stop. You'd imagine they'll probably punt the ball here.
So 3rd and 8. The ball's going to be run off to the right-hand side. Daniel Ray, and he's going to get enough for the 1st down.
Yeah, that looked just like a missed assignment there out of number 8 for the Dragons, Carl Rasmussen. He just flew right by the running back, number 31, Daniel Ray, and Ray just had lots of open space. So Carl learned from that, and that play hopefully will be stuffed to it later on in the game.
So 1st down for the Warriors. The ball's going to be at the 29-yard line. 5 minutes here in the 1st quarter. The Dragons are already down 7-0. Firkin and the Waukee Warriors are looking to extend that lead. And so far, the Dragon defense hasn't had a whole lot of answers for Firkin and the Waukee Warrior offense. Daniel Ray is going to be the back again. He's going to get a few yards into the pile as well. The ball comes loose late, but it was dead, and Waukee's going to continue that possession.
Yeah, you can see Waukee's going to keep blocking to the whistle, and really one of the keys is our defensive linemen here at Johnston are going to need to keep the Waukee offensive linemen off the linebackers, and right now that's not happening, so you see the big chunks of yards being...
So Firkin is back again. He's going to hand it to Linneman, and he's going to gain a few yards and to bring up another big 3rd down.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be about a 3rd down and 3, maybe 4 here.
Looks like Preston Arnold is coming off the field. His arm is kind of being real careful with. He's heading to the sideline looking for some trainers to take a look at him. He is banged up on the sideline. So big 3rd down for the Dragons. We'll get back to you on Arnold's condition here shortly. Firkin is back. He's going to hand off. It's going to be extended, and a couple of big hits there. Number 14 and number 4 will be Jackson Clausen, and also senior Drew Singbush coming up hard and really eliminating that play right off the bat.
If you want to watch how a safety and a linebacker should play the run game there, and that's right there the way you want to teach it. Watching Singbush coming up from the safety, had his pads, hit with his pads, his head was up. That's the way you teach it.
So number 14, Skylar Cruz, is going to come out to attempt the field goal. The ball will be kicked from the 30-yard line, so it's going to be a 40-yard field goal with the wind. Kick is down and up and good. So Skylar Cruz comes through with a 40-yarder, and Waukee is up 10-0 in this 1st quarter.
Yeah, if you're the defense there, that has to be seen a little bit as a victory for you. You gave up about 20 yards, a couple of pass plays, but only have a field goal, and looking at 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock, field position or the field will flip, and Waukee will start going into the wind, so that'll change a little bit of what they can do offensively as well.
So this might be a game of just trying to survive the wind. It's blowing fairly steady. The flag is stiff here, so that might be what the Dragons need to do, is try to get this field flipped so that they can use the wind to their advantage, or more or less so Waukee's disadvantage, as much as they throw the ball, but they've also been able to run the ball with Ray and Linneman as well.
Yeah, and on the other side with Waukee, they've been able to really load up their defense against the run, knowing that it's probably pretty difficult in this kind of offense to throw the ball anyway. To throw it into the wind's doubly difficult. So we'll see what happens. Johnston needs some positive yards here.
Down on the field, Preston Arnold, who was banged up on the play, seems to be moving a lot better there. His mom works in the building. I see her on a daily basis, so if she's at home, he looks like he's all right. Cruz is going to be kicking the ball off. It's going to go into the end zone for the 3rd time this quarter, and the ball is going to go back to the 20-yard line. And Coach Cruzy and the Dragon offense is going to kind of regroup here and get their 3rd shot at the Warrior defense.
Yeah, I think Coach Luter's been involved a little bit in these meetings out here, getting the linemen a little more fired up.
So we'll see what happens. We have Kenneth Sweska, who's off to the left. Gus Ghanaian and Grant Gosling are in the backfield. Waukee looks like they have a 4-3. Their 2 safeties are also attacking into the front there. Looked like Bacon on the keeper. And you talked about that at the beginning of the game, that might be a key for the Dragons to really move the ball, as that Bacon looks to take a few himself. So he's going to pick up 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's a positive play in this offense. So now all of a sudden you're at 2nd down and 6. Very manageable, running the ball here.
So Bacon is back under center. T-Boy White and Grant Gosling are in the backfield. It's going to be Bacon looks to keep, and not a lot of room in the middle. He's going to be packed in there tight, and he's going to be right about at the line of scrimmage, or almost no gain. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 7. The ball's on the 23. Just under 2 minutes and 30 seconds here in the first quarter. Waukee's up 10-0. And a big 3rd down.
Yeah, that was a nice play by the big guy in the middle for the Waukee Warriors, number 56, Brandon Krantz, 6'3", 280 pounds. So he's definitely a guy that the Dragons are going to have to try to move out of that middle.
So Bacon is under center. He's going to throw to the outside, right through the hands of number 85. That is Jacob Newcomb. And the Warriors stop the Dragons again, and another 3 and out for the Johnston offense.
Yeah, that was an opportunity right there for Johnston to get a first down, hit right in the chest and ricocheted backwards. So now once again punting into the wind. Waukee's going to end up getting really good field position out of this.
So Johnson is going to punt. Mitch Benson, the senior. Pretty nice kick into the wind. It's not going to be returned. And the ball's going to be stopped at the 46-yard line. And Waukee, again, has good field position. The Johnston offensive struggles continue against the Warriors. And right now, the Dragon defense has been on the field pretty much the entire first quarter, Terry.
Yeah, defensive unit's been out there. And, the Waukee offensive linemen, they're big guys. They've been leaning on the defensive linemen for Johnston. So Johnston needs to get a 3 and out here to just get off the field.
Firkin's back in shotgun. He looks to the sideline. There's trips to the right. Adam Rose is off to the left. Firkin's going to take his shotgun. It's a play action pass to Rose for about 10-yard gain. So it looks like that'll move the chains. That's against number 1, Jaron Proctor, a junior cornerback. And that was just a well-timed play. You could tell that both Firkin and Rose have played together for a while. 2 seniors there connecting on that pass, moving the chains, and Waukee's up to the line of scrimmage trying to really take advantage of this tired Dragon defense.
Yeah, they're pushing tempo, that's for sure.
So Firkin's going to take that. The ball's going to, again, it's almost identical play to the last time with almost identical result. So it's going to be another 10-yard gain, and Proctor's either going to have to tighten up on that sideline or on the coverage there, because that was the exact same play that they just ran.
Yeah, that's interesting because the left guard actually pulled to the right, and I think that's an option play there from the quarterback.
So Firkin is going to roll. Nice coverage there by Coleman. A slight push off there by Penn, but just a slight overthrow there by Firkin. And Coleman, who was the freshman who got beat on the play earlier, did a great job in coverage that play.
Yeah, there was a little bit of hand fighting going on there. Good play call, though, when you have a 2nd down and 1. Little play action pass, see if you can suck up the freshman and throw over the top of him, but it didn't work.
So it'll be 3rd and 1 here. Firkin looks to the sideline. We have number 32, Jake Morrison at fullback, and it looked like 31, Daniel Ray, behind Firkin. So it's going to be a handoff to Ray. Looks like he's going to sneak just enough there to get about a 3-yard gain and move the chains. So Warriors keep moving the football. The chains are moving. First down Warriors. Just under a minute here in the first quarter.
Yeah, a shifty run out of Daniel Ray there. He just kind of got to the hole, hopped to the right, and got some extra yards for the first down.
So Firkin again is in shotgun. He's going to play action pass. It's going to be onto the outside. Number 21, Carter Wunsch, came up to make the hit on 32, which is Morrison. And that's going to be a big stop. It would have been a short gain regardless if he caught it. I think if Carter wouldn't have been so focused on tackling Morrison, that ball kind of hit Morrison and kind of bounced into Carter's hands, but it would have been a tough play for him to finish. He was just coming up to make the big hit.
Yeah, Wunsch is a guy that is going to come up and make a big hit. He's one of those guys that is going to make a statement out there for the defense.
So Firkin's going to hand the ball off to Daniel Ray off to the left-hand side. Number 24, Eric Seenberg, and it looked like also number 14, Drew Singbush on the tackle, and it's going to bring them just short of the first down. So it'll be 3rd and short, and the Dragons are really hoping to put a stop here and keep this to just a field goal opportunity. So Firkin is back under center. It's 3rd and 4 from the 24. He's going to be a keeper. Firkin finds plenty of room, and it looks like he's going to take this to the house. Firkin kept that. A great read. Touchdown, and it's 16-0. And the Dragon defense really has had no answers for Waukee's offense.
No, and right there you just got to see Ben Firkin. He's playing on just a different level right now than the other players out here on the football field. Great read out of him, and really nice play designs. They've been really just kind of working the same type of play the whole way down the field here on this series. But just with little wrinkles there, and that time the quarterback kept it and just right up the middle, untouched for the touchdown.
So Skylar Crew, number 14, makes the extra point, and it's going to be 17-0 here in the first quarter. And the Dragons look a little shell-shocked early in the first quarter. They have time yet. They got to regroup, but it's going to be the offense that's going to have to lead this comeback.
Yeah, the offense has to get something going because the defense has basically been out there almost the whole first quarter almost. Just too many 3-and-outs out of the offense, and then they just don't have they just don't have much of an answer for Firkin. That's just what it comes down to.
And the reality is that Johnston just isn't that deep on defense. Their first team has been very solid so far, but rotating guys in, that guy that you're bringing in is just not as good as the first guy. And, we're seeing right now that first team's getting worn down. They're exhausted, and there's no relief really on the sidelines for them. So if the offense doesn't get it going, it looks like this could be a long night for the Dragons.
Yeah, it could be.
So we have T-Boy White and Jaron Proctor back to return for the Dragons. Skylar Crew will be kicking off from the 40. He's put 3 in the end zone so far, and looks like the 4th one's in there as well. That ball will be taken into the end zone, a touchback, and it'll be first and 10 from the 20. So this is the 4th start for the Dragons. Each start's been from the 20-yard line, so we can see what Jared Bacon and his senior quarterback can do here. He's been 0 for 2 in terms of completions. Hasn't had a lot of room in the middle to run the football. And it looks like some of these teams now have kind of solved maybe this veer offense. It looks like the Johnston offense is going to have to adapt to kind of what Waukee's doing. So Bacon's under center. False start there by Gosling. And it's going to put them back 5 additional yards. So the struggles continue for the Dragons. Another penalty. It's going to push them back to 1st and 15. So the Johnston coaching staff's got to be extremely frustrated with just the start of the first quarter, but also the play of the offense, the lack of discipline. That's the second penalty that they've had. Just a false start penalty that has pushed the chains back. So it's 1st and 15. Bacon's under center. He's going to hand it off into the middle. Looked like Gosling is the one that gets going to get the carry. He moves the pile a few yards to gain 2-3 yards on that carry, and I think Johnston just wants to get to the end of the quarter, get the field flipped, and then also just kind of regroup.
Yeah, the Dragons need to get the wind behind them a little bit, and right there, what you saw is just linebackers there's just no threat at all to the outside, so linebackers are just flying up to the middle of the Johnston offensive line, and there's not enough linemen to block all the defenders there. So just stuff in the middle for the defense, and Johnston's not making much room.
So for those of you that are just joining in, just give you a quick synopsis of the first quarter. Johnston got the ball for their first possession, 3-and-out, short punt. Firkin and the Waukee offense drove down. It was a touchdown pass to number 25, Cade Penn. Later in the quarter, it was it's been just on repeat. 3-and-out for the Dragons. Punt, Waukee moves the ball. A Skylar Crew field goal makes it 10-0 in the first quarter. And then just before the end of the quarter, a 3-and-out punt. Waukee gets the ball, goes down, and a long Ben Firkin run for a touchdown makes the score 17-0. So that's where the score stands right now to begin the second quarter. So Bacon and the Warrior offense are sitting at a 2nd and 12 from the 23, have the wind at their back and hoping to move the ball a little bit more than they have so far in this game. So Bacon's under center. Number 7 off the blitz. He finds Gannon Sweska. Gannon Sweska is going to pick up a few yards if they mark his forward progress.
Yeah, Coach Woodley's talking a little bit there about the fact that the receiver caught the ball about 3 yards ahead of where the ball's marked right now, and he was fighting, and the defenders were, pushing him back. So the official decided to mark it back a couple of yards. So now Johnston's sitting at a 3rd and 9 as opposed to like a 3rd and 6, which is what Coach Woodley's talking about on the sideline.
Yeah, Sweska was battling and was pushed back 3 yards. So I would actually tend to agree with Coach Woodley. Fumble on that. Looks like Waukee has the football. And struggles and frustration continue for the Dragon offense and also the Dragon coaching staff.
Yeah, that was just a center quarterback exchange issue right there, and the ball was hanging out there. Nobody really knew where the ball was, and number 42 for Waukee, Drew Lenneman, jumped on it. So once again, Waukee's got the ball, really good field position with a quarterback that's probably one of the best in the state.
So Waukee is probably looking to put this game away early, Terry. It's 11-11 in the second quarter. It's 17-0. The ball's at the 19-yard line. They have a senior quarterback, Ben Firkin, back there. He's going to hand the ball off to Daniel Ray. He cuts that back up. He's inside the 10. Looks like he's almost at the 6-yard line. So Waukee continues to move the ball. Ray comes up a little shaken up. And he's going to jog to the sideline. That's going to bring in 42, Linneman.
Yeah, well-designed play out of Waukee. They're pulling guards a lot on the plays, so the guard's pulling quite a bit, but this is still a read concept, so you got to play your keys.
So shift up front for the Dragons. Move 77, Jack Spear to the left side. Number 8, Firkin, the quarterback, is again in shotgun. He's rearranging Morrison, and also has Linneman in the backfield. So he's going to run to the left. Linneman gets his pads down low. He's going to be short of the end zone, but continues to gain a few yards. So they're inching their way to the goal line. Looks like it's going to be tough for the Dragons just to stop them just running football, Terry.
Yeah, the surge right now out of Waukee's offensive lineman is pushing Johnston back right on the snap at about 2 yards right now. So their offensive linemen are definitely winning the fight there.
So a jumbo package is back in for the Johnston defense. Looks like it's going to be a jumbo versus jumbo here. Linneman doesn't find a lot of room in there. It looks like the defense is held on this possession. So last week, the Dragons were kind of in a similar spot, fourth and goal against Urbandale. However, they hadn't had this much time on the field in the first half. So see if Waukee looks to continue to pound the football here. Officials timeout is going to stop the clock here.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they're talking about, if it's still the play clock issue that they're talking about, or, a Johnston. Looks like we got a Johnston player running off the field. Maybe an equipment issue out of number 69, Boris Petrusik.
So I don't know if his helmet, looks like it's some sort of equipment issue that they did stop the clock for. Petrusik, a starting defensive lineman for the last 2 years. Kind of a big hole there. Looks like another stop. Looked like a late surge to take that back. It's going to push that over the line. And a touchdown for Waukee is going to make this 23-0 at this early stage of the second quarter. So it's been all Waukee. The Dragon defense hasn't had much success or any answers to stop Firkin and the Warriors. And the offense has been shut out so far in terms of just moving the football, first downs. It's been an ugly game for the Dragons.
Yeah, now we're running the swinging gate there and wide open.
Just an overthrow there, trying to get maybe a little too cute there.
Yeah, they had it open. They line up with that swinging gate look, and nobody covered what essentially was the right side back, and he just released on the snap and poor throw out of the holder. Or that would have been a 2-point conversion right there.
So the Dragon defense is going to the sideline, trying to regroup. They're looking for answers. They haven't had any. The poorest performance they've had so far this year. And we'll see if the Dragons can move the football. So far they've had 0 first downs. Haven't even had a real legitimate opportunity to get a first down. I think they've been 3rd and 6 has been the closest opportunity of even getting a first down. So the struggles on the offense have been quite noticeable, as well as the struggles on defense. So the Dragons are just right now getting schooled by the Waukee Warriors early in this first half.
Yeah, and defensively, Johnston's been playing with their backs against their end zone. Waukee's had, on average, probably been around the 45-yard line of Johnston in this first half so far. So we'll see what happens on this offensive possession here for Johnston. But the offense has got to help out the defense. The defense can't be put in these situations where they have short fields.
So Skylar Crew will be kicking off into kicks it high in the air. A fair catch called. Looked like that was number 25. Noah Monty's going to call the fair catch. The ball is going to start at the 26-yard line, which is the best field position the Dragons have had.
Yeah,
so
that was a smart play out of a baseball player there, because when that ball's high up in the air like that, a lot of times those guys that are up backs, they're not used to fielding the play. They're usually turning around, trying to get the block on the man that they're assigned to. But right there, Monty put the hand up on the fair catch, which means the defense can't touch him, and he just got to sit underneath it and catch it, and it was a safe play for the Dragons.
So Bacon's under center. They have trips here. He's rolling to his left. Throws the ball to the outside. Looked like that's Jacob Newcomb out on the left, but he was out of bounds. So looks like the Dragons are trying to open things up here a little bit, trying to change the pace. Throwing the football early on this possession on a first down. So an incomplete pass is going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Yep, just a single back in the backfield there. So Dragons had 4 wide receivers out, and now they're back to the veer look with two backs.
So we have T-Boy White, Grant Gosling in the backfield. Jared Bacon's going to look to throw. Looked like there wasn't an opening there. It looked like that was either 95 or 85.
Yeah, that was number 85 for Waukee in there on the play.
Jake Shutt, the senior defensive lineman, just blew through there. Bacon looked to his left, didn't find anything, was going to try to turn and look the other direction. And that was where Shutt was, and a sack for the Warriors. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 17.
Yeah, and Johnston really doesn't have a play for 3rd and 17. I don't know many high school teams that really have a 3rd and 17 play, so right here might just give the ball up the middle, screen pass.
It's a short pass to T-Boy White. He's going to try to get some room, but he won't be able to elude all of the Waukee Warriors. So it looked like he might be able to find some space. That space was quickly closed. And this is going to bring up another 4th and long, and a punt here for the Dragons.
Real impressive. I was really impressed right there by the Waukee defensive speed, because T-Boy White's one of the faster guys in shoulder pads in the state of Iowa. And number 12 came up there for the Waukee Warriors, Mark Primrose, and made a fantastic open field tackle on a guy who is tough to bring down in the open field.
So Mitch Benson is going to kick it a nice punt here. It's going to bounce in front of number 1, Brett Hawk. And again, a good field position for the Warriors. So really, for those of you that have just joined, that's basically been the entire night for the Dragon offense. Three and out, punt, and Waukee gets the ball around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, the only thing on the Waukee side that you probably say you need to do a better job of is fielding punts. They'd have even better field position if they weren't allowing the punts to drop in front of them. So let's see what the defense does out here for the Dragons.
So the Dragon defense is out. They haven't had a stop yet tonight against Waukee. Firkin is again in shotgun. Daniel Ray will be the back in the backfield. Rose will be off to the left, as well as Grodhouse, who is another strong wide receiver. It's going to be run up the middle by Ray. Falls forward for a couple, so a good start there for the Dragon defense. They're going to want a 3 and out. They've really struggled defensively trying to stop Waukee, and it'd be nice for them just to get off the field. So there's under 7 minutes here in the second quarter. Waukee is up 23-0. The ball's on the 41-yard line. Firkin is back. He's going to run it off to the right side. It looked like that was number 8, Carl Rasmussen, on the blitz. And that's going to be a 2-yard loss for Ray here. So Dragons are trying to get a little more aggressive with their linebackers coming hard. And that's going to be make this a 3rd and 10. So this would be a great stop, a momentum for the defense. They haven't been able to stop Waukee yet tonight. And then maybe a possibility of just getting this team fired up a little bit. So it's going to be a bubble screen on the outside. He eludes one tackler, but it looks like he's not going to be able to elude everybody, and he's going to fall short. I think they're going to rule him. They blew the whistle earlier. That's going to be a stoppage. It looks like he's going to be a couple yards short.
Yeah, that whistle was blown a little bit early there because it seemed like Waukee still had some momentum. So it's going to be a 4th and 1, but that was a missed tackle on the tunnel screen there. Johnston should have, if they would have made a fundamental play, they really would have tackled Waukee on the 45.
Number 94, Alec Jackson, on that tackle. He was out on that bubble screen. So it's going to be 4th and 1. Firkins in the shotgun. Looks to the sideline, looks to Coach Carlson. 6 minutes here in the first quarter. The play clock is at 13 seconds. And Coach Carlson is going to call a timeout, maybe either get some different personnel in or just regroup on this. So just kind of playing with house money on this. If you're Coach Carlson, I don't know why you wouldn't go for it.
No, I don't know why you wouldn't go for it here either. I mean, it's 4th and 1. Your offensive line has been dominating the Johnston defensive line, and you get a first down here and get it with 6 minutes left. Take a couple more minutes off of the clock. Johnston hasn't moved the ball. You're up by 30 going into half. You got to feel pretty good about yourself. So I would imagine he's just going to make sure that he gets the right play in, right personnel in, and go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well, Terry. So the Dragons are, they're searching for answers on the defensive side of the football. Waukee, some tremendous athletes, some big plays as well. And the Dragons have come out a little flat tonight.
Yeah, and part of that could be Waukee's just got, like you said, just really good athletes out there on the field, and they're putting a lot of pressure at every position on the Johnston defense.
So Coach Carlson changes his mind. He's going to punt here, up 23-0. Monty's number 25 is back. He's going to fair catch. And the Warriors are stopped for the first time tonight on offense. So it's going to be Dragons ball, 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. It's a lot easier for us to make that call up here, Terry, but you kind of wonder what Coach Carlson was doing there. I would have just kept running the football.
Yeah, but he has pretty good defense out there as well, so
yeah,
he might just be. He might talk to the defense on the sideline and say, "Hey, we're going to punt it here. Get us the ball back."
He's won more high school football games than I have, so I'll trust his opinion over mine.
Yeah.
So he's up 23-0. He feels pretty comfortable with the way his team's been playing, and really his defense has been stuffing the offense. So 23 looks like it might be enough just already in this game. So T-Boy White's going to make number 1 miss, which is Brett Hawk, but number 22, Cedric Dobbins, comes in, and he kind of cleans that up. So T-Boy avoided 1, but the safety came up and really pushed him out of bounds. So it's a gain of 5 there for T-Boy White. A nice run there and a good start for the Dragons. They're going to need some small things to really build this momentum up.
Yeah, if Johnston could get a touchdown going into half, that's the positive note they want to end the half on here.
So it's going to be a pitch out to T-Boy White. He's going to try to get outside. He's going to really have to look at just keep going forward.
Yeah, the negative plays, just can't have negative plays in this offense, and that's a situation where you get stopped for no gain, and you're 3rd down and 6. But when you run backwards, now all of a sudden you're at 3rd down and 15.
Yeah, just not a good play. You just have to understand your situation, and he's not faster than everybody.
Yeah, and these Waukee, right now Waukee's sitting back. They got cover 3. Their defensive backs are 15 yards deep.
Pick six. Number 1, Brett Hawk read that all the way. And the shellacking is continuing, and Waukee is just pouring it on tonight.
Yeah, really good play out of Brett Hawk. He was one of those guys 15 yards deep, and on the snap, he just took off sprinting toward Johnston's sideline, or Johnston's line of scrimmage, and Jared Bacon didn't see him coming up. Jared Bacon had a quick read on and threw it right into the chest of Hawk.
So it might be a short night for the Johnston Dragon players. They may be looking to go to the second team because right now this team doesn't look anything close to what we've seen the last couple weeks. So they're just getting their first true test of mentality. And a good rush there and a kick on Singbush on the attempt to block that. He's going to fall up just short, but right now, this has just been a one-sided affair, and it's been all Warriors. So it's going to be 30-0. There's still 5 minutes left in the second quarter, and there doesn't seem to be any let-up in sight here.
No, there doesn't. And so the challenge for Johnston at this point is to keep their focus. They got to maintain focus out there on the field because this is a game that obviously could get even more ugly pretty quick with the high-powered offense that Waukee has brought over here to Johnston Stadium tonight.
Yeah, just a frustrating night, and you can see it on the faces of the players. You can see it on the faces of the coaches. This is unexpected from the Johnston sideline, and right now they're just they can't get into halftime soon enough. Yeah,
and halftime. The one thing at halftime, the defense has been on the field so much, and they've been having their back put against the wall so often. So the coaches are going to have to really make sure that there's not a lot of finger pointing going on at halftime, and try to bring these guys together and keep them focused on the football team.
Yeah, there's a lot of season left, and regardless of what happens tonight, they've beat Johnston's beat some good teams. They have to continue to build on that. So Skylar Cruz is going to hit the ball up in the air. Nomani's going to take it. He's going to return this kick. It looks like he's going to get to the 35-yard line. So see what the Dragons can do here on the offensive side of football. So far, they are still shut out in the game and also in first downs. So looking for some sort of momentum, some sort of big play. We'll see what Coach Cruzy has. You might have to try something different. Get creative on the offensive side of the football because right now the ground and pound just isn't working.
Yeah, so Johnston does have a little bit. Well, no, they don't have a little different package. Gus Canane's coming in a little bit late here, so got the split fear.
So Gus Canane and Grant Gosling will be the ones that are back. It's going to be thrown to the outside to Gannon Sweska. Sweska is going to get that first down, so a cheer from the Johnston sideline, recognizing that it's the first down and the change of move. So it's 4 minutes and 44 seconds into the first half, and Johnston gets their first down. So Gannon Sweska, a junior on the catch from Bacon, and the Warriors are hustling up to get the next play. So see if they can build on that. Bacon is back under center. Ganane and Gosling are the two backs. It's going to be up the middle to Ganane. Take that back. A keeper by Jared Bacon, and he fooled myself and the Waukee defense, and he's going to take that in for a touchdown. So a big play there by Jared Bacon. He fooled me. I thought Ganane had the ball. Just a lot of trickery there by Bacon and a nice run. So the Dragons are responding. They have a lot of work to do, but that's the first step in kind of clawing their way back. So a nice job there by Bacon. kind of get the sidelines back up.
Yeah, Bacon just did a good job reading right there on that call. He just followed through the center of the line, and he only had one guy to beat, and Jacob Newcomb was out front, and Newcomb got the real good block on the defensive back for the Waukee Warriors, and then Bacon had nothing but green in front of him. So definitely a positive thing here for Johnston, and looking at the clock, there's still 4 minutes and 34 seconds on the clock, still a lot of time. See if the defense could get a stop here, get the ball back to the offense, and best case scenario, Johnston gets the ball again and puts another touchdown on the board to make it 30-14. But at this point, there has been nothing stopping the Waukee offense. So
it's going to be a struggle, Terry, for Johnston to make a game out of this. As you mentioned, the Waukee offense has moved the ball with relative ease tonight, so we'll see what happens. But there's a nice positive part for Jared Bacon coming back on that interception. He kind of made a nice read, a nice run, and a nice play for the senior quarterback.
Yeah, that was just a real good play out of Bacon here. So Brady Jansen should kick this one into the end zone.
Brady Jansen might kick this to Urbandale.
Yeah, he could. He might put it through the uprights here.
So Brady Jansen, senior kicker here. This ball is going to end in just out of the end zone.
There you go.
No surprise to you or I. Both kickers tonight have done a great job kicking off. Both Crew and Jansen have done a great job, but we'll see what the Warrior defense can really do here. The one thing with Waukee is, they throw a few incomplete pass. That clock stops. That gives some opportunities for Johnston to maybe creep in and get that touchdown and make this a 30-14 game.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll see what the play calling looks like here. Are they going for the end zone, or are they looking to just chew some time off the clock?
So they give the ball to Daniel Ray, and he's going to pick up about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, it seems like the running backs for Waukee have a lot of running room to build up some steam before they ever get hit by the Johnston Dragon defense. So as a running back, that's what you want. You want to get through the hole so that you have top speed.
So again, it's going to be Ray off to the right-hand side. He's going to be wrapped up by a host of Dragon defenders. I know it looked like number 21, Wunsch, was flying up there to make the tackle. He had a big hit last week against Urbandale on the kickoff. It looked like number 8, Carl Rasmussen, was in there as well.
Yeah, it was a good job out of Wunsch at the safety position. And then the young guy, Anthony Coleman, he held his ground out there and made the running back cut back inside right where Wunsch was running down the alley.
So it's 3rd and 6 from the 24. Trips to the left. Firkin is back in shotgun. Daniel Ray. Oh, a big hit there, but he's going to hang on to the ball and keep the first down. Looked like that was number 16, I think Tyler Grotehouse.
Yeah, Grotehouse did a really nice job of holding on to that ball. And number 14 for the Dragons came up with a big hit.
Drew Singbush.
But right there, just watching Ben Firkin at the quarterback, his feet. He's got a lot of movement out of his feet to try to get in position to throw that pass, but it's so fast with his feet he can do it.
So it's going to be up the middle. Daniel Race slices in. The ball is out. Looked like, I don't know who fell on it. Johnston does get it. You could see the ball come out, and, this could be the momentum swing to kind of go into halftime where the Dragons are feeling a little more comfortable with this second half.
Yeah, that's just one of those plays there where the Dragons are getting their break, and now they've got the good field position and the wind behind their back with enough time, 3 minutes left. So let's see what Coach Cruzy and the Johnston offense are able to do here with the time on the clock.
So now what Waukee was hoping for, the fumble there. A turnover into their own territory. Bacon's going to be under center. He's going to play action pass. That ball is knocked down in the middle. Flag on the play as well.
Yeah, that ball actually hit the linebacker for Waukee, who was dropping back into his zone, number 42, Drew Linneman. So not sure kind of what happened there.
Holding penalty against the Dragons as well.
I think tonight that's been 3 offensive possessions for the Dragons. that have started with a penalty.
You're exactly correct, because the first drive was an offsides penalty. 2 drives later, there was another offsides, and here we have a hold. So a lot of plays that result in negative yards, not only from the running backs, but also just from mental mistakes.
Yeah, so now you have 1st and 20 for the Dragons. 3 minutes left on the clock. No need to panic here, but obviously you need to get positive yardage.
So Bacon will be under center. Gosling and T-Boy White. He's going to get to the outside. Avoids 1 tackle. Looked like number 32, Grant Gosling, with a nice block on the edge. Jacob Newcomb, number 85, another big block to kind of give T-Boy White some room there. So, if T-Boy continues to go north and south, I think he's going to have a little more success. He's going to have to quit trying to go east and west.
Yeah, that was a really good pitch out of Jared Bacon. Just a fast play. He had good blocking on the outside, but as you said, T-Boy's just got to really go north and south there. He probably would have got 4 or 5 more yards had he done that, or he might even have split somebody.
So Bacon keeps this. He cuts in off the edge. He tried to slice past the defensive end, and he's going to pick up a couple yards. So it's going to make this about a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, where, we don't get that holding. Johnston doesn't get that holding penalty. They're at a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and really, this is a good offensive series. Other than that penalty, this has been a good first 2 plays for the Dragons here. Positive yards. This is most likely 4-down territory for the Dragons here. So get a few more yards to put yourself into a good 4th down position.
No one blocked. Number 7, Nick Anderson, just flew up the middle. No, the offensive line didn't communicate and pick up the blitzing linebacker, and it's going to bring up 4th and a long distance here. So,
yeah, Anderson, that wasn't disguised at all. Anderson was almost on a full sprint up to the line of scrimmage before the ball was ever snapped. So, kind of surprised there that the Dragons allowed him to get through the hole so fast. That's kind of the quarterback can help with that, with the cadence a little bit to slow down that offense or that linebacker there.
So Bacon's looking to the sideline. Looks like they're going to roll this down and then call a timeout here.
Yep, they're going to roll it down, call a timeout, and then punt it, and hopefully pin Waukee back and go into half. With Waukee's offense, they can get big chunks of yards with very little time off the clock.
Yeah, Coach Carlson may be happy where he is and just take a few hand the ball off and just go into halftime 30-7 as well. Last time they turned the ball over, he may be just looking to just hand it off and just call it good for this first half, because they've had a great half of football. Are up 23 points. Again, the score is 30-7. Waukee is up. It's been all Waukee Warriors. There's a minute 31 left in the half, and Dragons haven't had a lot of answers for the Warriors.
No, and the thing with Waukee, their last couple of possessions, their lineman has just really imposed their will on the Dragons defense, who's been on the field almost the whole game, and so they don't have to throw the ball to get big chunks of yards at this point. Running the ball, they've been getting pretty big chunks of yards.
So we'll see what happens here. Senior Mitch Benson is back to punt. Number 6. A nice snap there by the long snapper, Ross Henders. It's going to go past it and bounce into the end zone. So the Warriors will start the ball at the 20-yard line.
So Waukee's going to start at the 20-yard line. They got 2 timeouts here. We'll see how aggressive Coach Carlson will be with this amount of time on the clock, and a senior quarterback that can bring his team down the field when given the opportunity to make plays with his arm and legs.
So the Dragon defense, which is again out on the field, it's been a theme that has been familiar to us watching the game tonight at home and also here at the stadium. So Firkin will be back in shotgun. Single receivers here. He's going to hand off. Looked like that's number 31, Ray, again, and he finds enough room for a first down.
Yeah, Ray is just he's able to get through
He's just hitting the hole hard.
Yeah, the defensive line is just being blown off the ball so far that Ray's at top speed before he ever gets to the linebackers, and linebackers are getting blocked by the offensive linemen as well. So
So this is going to be a nice play by Proctor. Pass is intended for number 5, Adam Rose. Ball is slightly overthrown. Proctor read the ball and made a nice over-the-shoulder catch.
Yeah, that Jaron Proctor there, just really impressive catch because the Waukee wide receiver became the defensive back there and was grabbing Proctor, and Proctor was still able to get the arms up and catch the ball there.
Yeah, kind of like he's got a couple little brothers. It was like his little brothers were just hanging on him, and they were trying to play catch, and he just was pulled down, grabbed the ball. It was a nice play there by Proctor.
Really, really nice play.
So Bacon is back under center. There's 1:05 left. Looks like a little screen pass to T-Boy White. He slips a couple tackles. He's going to get out of bounds. Going to pick up about 7 yards.
Yeah. So that's a positive play, getting a few yards there. And the nice part is got out of bounds, so you get to save the timeout there.
I take that back. He only gained 4 yards on that. It looked like you got a few more.
There was a lot of dancing going on in that play, so it did look like quite a bit of yardage.
I'll let all the dance moves to T-Boy White on that. So Jared Bacon's under center. Rolls to his left. Throws to the sideline. Connects with number 3, Gannon Sweska. And he's going to move the chains for another first down.
That was a good job of patience out of the quarterback for Johnston, Jared Bacon, because number 7 for the Waukee Warriors undercut the route by Svetka, Nick Anderson, and Bacon just allowed Svetka to get a little bit farther in the flat, outrun the linebacker, and then he made a nice pass, and Svetka got out of bounds, and the Dragons are at midfield.
Yeah, Sweska's probably the speediest of the 3 receivers from Johnston. Bacon is dropping back to pass. Looked like a little screen pass to Gosling. Gosling's going to cut up. He's going to find some room again and just a few tacklers away from breaking that in, taking that into the end zone. So the Dragons are on the move. They still have 2 timeouts left. There's 44 seconds here in the first half.
It's a really good play call there out of Coach Cruzy, and a nice job of executing out of the offensive lineman. And Grant Gosling, he's really good at reading his blocks, and he did a good job of getting most yardage he could.
So Bacon rolls to his right. He connects with number 85, Jacob Newcomb. It looks like that's going to be another first down. The clock stops in high school football.
Yeah, Waukee's just playing real loose zone against the Dragons, and Newcomb just ran up the sideline and stopped.
And you just find an open spot in that zone, and Bacon connected with him. And a penalty on the Dragons again. That looks like that was number 87, Noah Richards, a senior.
Yeah, this is just that mental focus right now is not quite there for Johnston in this game. I don't know. At halftime, I'm not sure how that gets changed, but it definitely needs to be changed. The Dragons are going to come back in the second half.
So a timeout here for Johnston.
One thing you know for sure is Johnston's got a kicker who can kick it from this point. So don't take a sack. I mean, that would be the worst possible thing for the Dragons. Getting 3 points on the board would be real positive here.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously Johnston wants a touchdown. But there's 23 seconds left. You have 1 timeout. You may just have to put points on the board and just go into the half, understanding that, hey, we were down 30-0. We've had some positive things happen. Let's build off that positive stuff and see if we can just chip away.
Yeah, and at this point with 23 seconds left, if you can give the ball up the middle, get the ball to the center of the field here, or ask the kicker, where do you want the ball? And then just allow Brady Jansen to get 3 points on the board. That'd be a real good way to end the half here for the Dragons. On the other side of the ball for Waukee wants to push the Dragons back here just a little bit and make it a little more difficult for Jansen to kick that field goal.
So 1st and 15 from the 25. Bacon's rolling to his left. He's looking for number 8, Carl Rasmussen in the middle. Bacon kind of threaded the needle there. That was a nice pass to number 8, Carl Rasmussen, and I bet Carl's wishing he could have that play back.
Wow, what a play call from Coach Cruzy right there. Definitely was not seeing that, and getting the ball to your playmaker, Carl Rasmussen. You couldn't ask for much more, but Carl just didn't hang on there. Nice ball out of Jared Bacon.
Yeah, that was a really nice throw by Jared Bacon. Rolling to his left, kind of stopped his feet, reset his shoulders, and really threw a strike.
Oh, no.
Not on that one, though. Bacon's going to throw that off his back foot, and he's going to look like, was that number 4?
I think that was number 6 for the Waukee Warriors, who was able to come up and get that pick, Seth Anderson.
So the drive is stunted there. Couple missed opportunities there again for the Dragons. And Waukee's going to get the ball with 6 seconds left and probably just take a knee. Unsportsmanlike penalty on Waukee. That's going to push them back even further.
Yeah, just a little bit of extra block in there at the end out of the Warriors. But for Johnston to beat a team like Waukee, you can't have the penalties that they've had. But then also you've got to make the plays when the plays are there, and there have been some plays to be made. First down plays on their second possession, drop pass, touchdown pass right there. That was dropped. So the Dragons have not been helping themselves tonight, and looks like Waukee's going to take a knee and go into half pipe feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, and the frustration of this first half is finally going to end for the Dragons. No answers on the defensive side, no answers on the offensive side, and sometimes you just got to put your hood up, go into halftime, and just regroup. So hopefully that's what Coach Woodley can do. They can kind of get stuff together and really kind of make a game out of this yet. There's still time, but right now it definitely looks like they're facing an uphill battle and kind of making this comeback. So
yeah, the Dragons they're not strangers to being down.
No, they were down 17-0 against an Ankeny team just a couple weeks ago, and they were and comebacks have been something that happened. The Dragons were up 17-0 last week against Urbandale. Urbandale made a nice comeback. So in high school football, you just never know what's going to happen. Turnovers can happen. There's been a pick 6. There's some easy points that you may be able to get, but definitely there's going to have to be a more aggressive tone on the defensive end. You have to take some risk and make some gambles.
Yeah, just playing straight up right now isn't really working because Waukee's had some turnovers. That without those turnovers, this score would probably be even bigger for Waukee at this point.
Yeah, and the Dragons have had 3 as well, pick 6, another interception at the end of the game, a fumble that led to a touchdown. So, Johnston hasn't played well, and the score reflects that. The turnovers that Waukee has given really hasn't led to any Johnston points.
No, Johnston has not taken advantage of any of them, but at the same time, Waukee's got a real fine defense out there. We've talked about that a little bit as well, so kudos to them.
Yeah, their defense has played really well. A team that really, they've played good teams, and tonight this might be maybe their frustration is like, hey, we're sick of being the team that's kind of been on the short end. We're going to try to take it to them, and I think we've seen that from the Waukee Warriors tonight. I got a couple shout-outs tonight of Mitch Gearhart. He's at home. He's got a couple kids. I know he couldn't make it to the game tonight. Dragon coach. Also a couple shout-outs for the Waukee side. A couple freshman baseball coaches, Chris Hoig and Sean Binkin. Both former students of mine in the classroom who are both educating in the metro area and also coaching over at Waukee, doing a good job with the Waukee baseball program. So I had to get those out, Terry. Hopefully they're paying attention. They probably, with a 30-7 halftime, they're probably trying to find something else on TV to watch at this point.
Yeah, they might be. With the weather the way it was, I'm sure a few more people are probably tuning in home than risk coming out here and getting rained on and being cold.
Yeah, the weather's actually been surprisingly good. I kind of was on the drive home and the drive over to Johnston tonight. Thought maybe this rain might continue on, but we haven't seen any raindrops here at Johnston, in that first half. So we might have escaped it. So just some scores here in the metro area. I know for some of you that may be kind of curious about the big game in the metro. is the Dowling Valley game. Dowling's up 31-14 at the half, so kind of a big surprise there, at least from my perspective. I thought Valley was the team to beat this year, and I thought Dowling was a little bit down in talent. They lost Boyles, as a quarterback, and they're kind of putting things together over there. So that's a big game and a big win for Dowling. Also over in Urbandale, they're facing Cedar Falls, who I believe is the number 2 or number 3 ranked team in 4A. And they're tied up over in that battle. So Urbandale's battling Cedar Falls team that's highly ranked, undefeated, would be a big win for the CIML.
Yeah, and I think that memory serves me correct. I think the coach over there in Urbandale, Sammy Anderson, I believe he's a Cedar Falls graduate. So there's a little bit of probably extra fire over there on the sideline for Urbandale.
So I take that back. It's tied 14-14. Cedar Falls connects on a 76-yard touchdown reception, and they tied it up. So Urbandale was actually up. Big play from the Cedar Falls Tigers. I was thinking, is it the Tigers, Cedar Falls? I think it's the Tigers. It's been a while since I've been up in the Cedar Valley to kind of watch the Cedar Falls teams.
Yeah, we got Keith Lippincott back here feeding us the scores, and Keith's giving us a little thumbs up there on the Cedar Falls Tigers. So
again, we got the Johnston Marching Band out here. They always do a tremendous job. They're entertaining the people at halftime. Last year they did a Wizard of Oz thing. I'm trying to figure out what's going on yet with what they're doing this year.
I think maybe with the rain tonight, they didn't want to have their full uniforms out. They might have had a contest coming up, so that's why you don't see them in their full uniforms out here. It looks like they all have the same T-shirt on.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, Terry.
They always put on a nice show at half, so I think this is probably a good time for us to stop talking, take a break, and let you enjoy the halftime music of the band.
All right, will do. We'll be back shortly. Have a good break.
Okay, this your mom? Yeah, this is my mom. I'm Brandon, by the way. I teach at Johnston and coach here. Yeah, your son's done a great job.
Good. He really enjoys it.
He's a hard-working young guy.
He would drop everything for this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like I got these nights. I gotta be at Johnston. So yeah.
You go anywhere else in Kate or you?
Forest High School? No, I know. This is the only one I did. It's funny how it started because I sent out a bunch of emails to a bunch of schools, and Gary was the first one to email me back. So.
Yeah, he just said, "Can I help with anything?" And then Gary.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been a really good thing for him.
So is this our stuff or is this?
This is high school or Central Iowa.
Central Iowa Sports. Okay. I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah. I just hate till I move it. I'm gonna switch to the camera. I'm gonna switch to the camera because I was gonna. So people can hear the band, but people can hear me in the talk.
I didn't see anything. You want some chips, Kate? I'm good, thank you. Might try to zip in the restroom quick. Okay.
Rosie looks like a boss. Yeah, look at her. She's the only one with like the coverage on.
love how they walk. I know. When they run. Get the pretty ones out. Should I get the next two? Should I be a fly girl? Wait, what is that? Jackson man? Clear. There was a clear net. Oh my god. Yes. I didn't know that. Look at that. That's funny.
Just scores.
Yeah. And when we had that interception, I was reflecting that way on him for
Yes.
so I just went down on his hat.
Oh, really?
If I was in band, I'd play the trumpet.
Which is fine. You're more important than I am.
I wasn't expecting this.
But that's the trumpet. I played the trumpet one.
I was expecting a tight game.
I was, man. I played the trumpet.
Oh, first and half, first quarter, half the second quarter, on the first down.
I'm the only one. Everybody else
Ran 12 plays.
had gold trumpets.
They certainly scouted well. They can, we need to throw. They can do that center blitz. Nobody picks them up. They can get twice.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
On that pass. Again.
He pushed it once and then he I mean, I guess you can get the reception, but you can do something with that.
That's the first time they threw the ball in his direction and the receiver was not behind him.
Not anymore. It's in a line. It was the toss one.
Freaking is good.
Really good.
Do this read, and then get your feet set
There you
to
go.
throw. As fast as he is doing that.
He's making good reads. He's there's that ball in there a long time.
Take a picture on your
Dude, hurry up! I'm almost there.
Carl has the first read, but
Hurry
that's
up,
the
everybody,
second
stop moving
so
again.
he gets a quarterback. Because if Carl's taking fullback,
Wow,
read
we
pass,
good.
well, there's nobody left. I don't know if we're getting behind.
They're running, so their scheme is they're pulling the guard out. Or they're using that H-back to kick out, so they're giving. They're still working on that back side, but they're giving the ball to the running back. And one time freaking kept the ball. The outside linebacker came in. And he was
You do the fun thing, go. Look at Mark with that.
A lot of kids with selfie sticks out there. Right over here.
Why don't we have one of these?
What?
Why don't we have one of these?
We do.
No, I mean like
course, Dodge is up on water really well, 47.
I have this exact same camera. My mom has the exact same one. Jillian. Oh, there's that guy, Deshaun.
I'm looking at the radar right now.
Right here.
They're not playing football in Cedar Rapids right now, and they can't be playing in the Quad Cities.
They're not playing in Iowa City either.
Yeah. Cubs game maybe get rained out tomorrow.
You driving in?
No, not till next week. I gotta drive to Claremont tomorrow.
Cedar Falls
Claremont, yeah. West and West Union. East and West Union. Where that is? Yeah. My cousin Mary's a kid I taught. Ryan Cruz is a kid that you said
Welcome back, Dragon fans, Warrior fans. Halftime here. We're getting under 4 minutes, and the players are kind of warming up out here. Looked at the weather radar. Looked like it's fairly clear. Rain shouldn't be a factor. And the Warriors have yet to come out yet to get loose here. Spend some time in the locker room, kind of going over some stuff, but. Right now, they may just be wanting to stay warm. They've been up big the entire game. We're up 30-0. Dragons came back, got a touchdown, got 7 points. So right now, the score is 30-7.
Yeah, it looks like the Warriors are just coming out of the locker room right now. Johnston's out, going through their dynamic stretching here with about 3 minutes left. But the Dragons are really going to need to heat up in the second half to just compete with the Waukee Warriors at this point, because Waukee's really outclassed the Dragons so far, making far more plays, seem to be very prepared for what the Dragons are throwing at them, and we'll see the second half if Johnston can put up a little bit more of a fight.
Yeah, the Warriors were just really ready for this game, and they, from the kickoff, from the defensive side of the football, from the offensive side of the football, the Warriors just look really well prepared for this game. Look like they have a pretty good idea what Johnston was going to do, and really just been attacking all night against the Dragons.
Yeah, coming into the game, I think the stats were a little deceiving. The Warriors had thrown the ball quite a few times, quite a few more times than had run the ball, but they were also in, I think, some situations where they had to maybe throw the ball a little bit. Maybe they were down a little bit, or late in the game they were down, so they had a few more plays of passing. But really in this game it's been fairly balanced, and they have allowed their playmaker, Ben Firkin, to just go out there and make plays, and the offensive line has made some just enormous holes for the running back, Daniel Ray, and Ray's done a nice job of moving around a little bit, finding the hole, and getting some extra yards. And so second half, defense is going to have to really stiffen up. And at the same time, Waukee's got to be thinking, we left a lot of points out there with some of our turnovers.
Yeah. They had, two interceptions there, and one on the nice play by Proctor. But, you talked about Firkin, and, we talked to the Johnston coaches, and they said, they gave us a scouting report. Firkin's a really talented quarterback. They have some really talented wide receivers, and they have some talented skill positions. And really, that's how the game's played out. Firkin has done a great job reading the Johnston defense, finding open receivers. Ray's done a great job finding holes and just running. I mean, he's running really hard through those holes, too. He seems like he's full speed when he gets to the hole, to the line of scrimmage, and really Johnston struggled to stop them.
Yeah. And having a guy at quarterback like Firkin who can just scan the field, and he pretty much knows pre-snap read where he wants to go with the ball. In their zone read concept, he's kept the ball in that zone read concept, and he went for a touchdown, a long run on a touchdown. So the game to him is just moving a little bit slower than it does for the other players, and I'm sure nights like this just really fun for him out there on the field. And on the other side for Johnston, it's just really frustrating because they're playing as hard as they can, but just aren't able to stop what's going on from this Waukee juggernaut for an offense.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with Firkin. This is his third year leading the offense. He's a veteran. He's taken some lumps too along the way, but he tonight has just looked phenomenal. And he's going to play probably. I mean, he looks like he can play college football. I don't know what his choices are, or if that's a decision that he's made or wants to make. But I mean, he's a really talented quarterback.
Yeah, and Waukee's got a lot of talented guys over there. They've got a lot of speed guys. Coming into the game, we thought T-Boy White's a pretty fast guy, and to be honest, Waukee's got 2 or 3 guys out there on just the defensive side of the ball that have really neutralized T-Boy White and been able to track him down on some of those long runs he normally would have.
Yeah, so we're just trying to kind of get ready for the half here, and we're just getting ready to go. I think the Warriors will be getting the ball here to start the half, so their defense, the Dragon defense, will be out again trying to stop them. And right now, they have 1-2 stops there, one at the end of the half. I'm not really going to count. It seemed like the Warriors were just trying to get into the halftime. The 2 interceptions, but really only 1 punt. I think there's been 1 punt. I forgot about that fumble, yeah.
Actually, I think there's been 2 fumbles on the Waukee side.
Well, the one was recovered by Waukee.
Remember that? Yep.
So, just actually a really nice night out here. The temperatures, of course, we're sitting here in the press box. It could be 40 degrees outside, and it'd still be pretty nice in here. So we're enjoying the comforts that Gary Ross, the Johnston Athletic Director, has kind of set up for us here and kind of got a nice little food spread, and he's done a good job taking care of us, Terry.
Yeah, he does a great job over here at Johnston with all of the athletic programs, and he's been a great leader for this district.
So we're appreciative of him tonight, as well as with all the other stuff that he's helped Johnston Athletics with. So Brady Jansen will be kicking off for the Dragons. He's number 39, a strong leg senior. He'll put this in the end zone is my guess, and really take away the return game. But we'll put those names back there. It looks like that's going to be Cade Penn. He's got a trio of people back there to receive. Look like number 12, Primrose. Oh, he kicked it short. Primrose is going to pick that up, and he's going to take it just past the 28-yard line. So Waukee is going to start here. We'll see if the Dragons can make some adjustments here on the defensive side of the football. We talked earlier, before this half started, about them maybe being more aggressive, taking more chances, and seeing what can happen here. So we'll see what happens, Terry.
Yeah. Obviously, the downside of taking more chances is when you do take those chances, then you can give up some really big plays, and and with a guy like Firkin scanning the field, he's going to look for those areas of vulnerability. So
Firkin is in shotgun. Looked like his Ray is in the backfield. Rose is off to the left. Looked like Penn and probably Grodehouse over on the side. A nice pass. Looked like that's picked off.
Drew Singbush fought for the ball there.
Like he might have just ripped that away.
Officials are conferring right now, not really knowing what to call here on the play.
So the officials here are going to give the ball to Waukee, and just some confusion here. The Johnston coaches are wondering what's going on, looking for answers here. Kind of giving it to the official right here. It's hard to tell from where we were at, Terry, whether he caught it or not. But an incomplete pass, it honestly looked from our spot that the officials didn't know either.
Yeah, they conferred, and incomplete pass, what they called it. Singbush came up with the ball, but next play, defense just has got to put that in the back of their head and look to stop because they got a big third down play right here.
So it's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Waukee's got their bigger package in right now. They brought in number 82, and now they're bringing in their speed package. So number 16 comes in, number 18 comes in for Waukee here. This is more of their speed package.
So we have 18 is Winger. Rose will be off to the left. He's number 5. Penn is 25, and Grodehouse is 16. A flag on the play, and that's going to go against Waukee. So it's going to be a false start. It's going to push them back 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 13. So not the start that Waukee was hoping for, but on the side, the Dragon side, that's exactly how you want to start the second half.
Yeah, and so now package-wise, Waukee's just, they're really looking like a college football team the way they have packages coming in and out with signaling in their plays. They're still able to get the plays in quick. They're just really multi-dimensional out here with their offense. It's really fun to watch.
So Firkin is back in shotgun. Ball's on the 21. He's going to hand it off to Ray. Ray's looking to get to the outside. He's going to pick up a good chunk of yardage, but he's still going to be short of the first down. It's going to be 4th down, and the Warriors are going to have to punt. So a host of Dragon defenders. Jackson Clausen was over there. Carter Wunsch was over there, number 21 as well on the tackle. So a good start for the Dragon defense. We'll have Noah Monty, 25, and number 1, Jaron Proctor, back to return the punt.
Yeah, it seems like with the wind as strong as it is, the punt returners are a little bit deep here, but we'll see what kind of punt Waukee's able to get off.
Nice
really
punt.
Nice punt into the wind.
Proctor takes that, and he's going to get just a couple yards. Not a lot of yards for Proctor to get there. Good punt coverage there by Waukee. He's going to really eliminate the punt return. But Johnston's offense is stepping out there. They had some positive plays there after 4 drives that really stalled. They had 4 drives where they were 3 and out and just giving the ball to Waukee. So we're at 10 minutes here in the third quarter. Those of you joining us, it's Waukee 30 and Johnston 7. The number 7 ranked team in 4A is behind and have a lot of work to do to catch up to the Warriors. For the 4th drive in a row, not in a row, but for the 4th drive of the night, the Dragons are going to have a penalty on first down. It's going to be a false start, and the struggles continue. So it'll be 1st and 15. We've talked at length about this. Just continual mistakes from the Dragons on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, you can't have that in when you're playing a team like Waukee here. You're putting yourself now at 1st down and 15. Johnston's done that over and over. They get to 2nd down and 17, and this defense for Waukee is just too good for Johnston to give away yards like that.
So Dragons are going to hand it off to Grant Gosling. He's finding some room. He finds a lot of room on the outside. One guy to beat. He's going to shove him to the ground with a stiff arm. A big block there and a heck of a run there by Grant Gosling.
I tell you what, Grant Gosling right there just put a stiff arm on number 12.
Primrose on that.
And threw him to the ground.
Primrose is not going to want to watch film on that play. He just got a left hand to the face, and he just got shoved to the ground by Grant Gosling. Grant Gosling was running angry there. He saw the end zone. He knew he just had to toss 12 to the ground to get there, and that's what he did. So a great start there. A really nice run by Gosling.
You know, the quiet guy they call Goose just came out and really lit a fire, hopefully, in this Johnston Dragon team. And he's coming off getting some high fives from people. And he's not a real vocal guy. He's not a big rah-rah guy. He's more of just kind of follow my lead kind of guy. But you can see the intensity out of him.
Yeah, so a nice run there by Grant. The kick was good there by Brady Jansen to make the score 30-14. So just in a short period of time, just under 2 minutes, the Dragons put up 7 points. So the start that the Dragons need. I mean, they still have a lot of work to do. It's not going to be an easy road to make this game close yet, but a nice start for the Dragons.
Yeah, that's real positive right there, and we'll see. We'll see what Waukee does, but obviously confidence is extremely important in all sports. But high school sports, you get some confidence going on, and you get the other side to have a little bit of bad thinking to creep in their head, and really you can change a game.
So Brady Jansen is the kickoff. He's going to kick this up into the air and into the end zone, and the ball is going to be touched back and not Urbandale. Waukee is going to start at the 20-yard line.
And so I think when you look there, Brady Jansen's hitting the back of the end zone. So on the previous kickoff, I think Johnston had seen something with returners being 3 returners deep. They were maybe trying to place the kick possibly in one of those open green areas, but that didn't work out. So now they're just kind of kicking it deep again.
So Firkin is in shotgun. He's going to hand off to Ray. And he's going to get brought down for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, Alec Jackson did a real fine job of playing off his block. I think that's the first time a defensive lineman has made a tackle for a loss here tonight.
So number 94, senior Alec Jackson, with a nice play for a 3-yard loss. And the Warriors are continuing to go back on first downs, at least in the second half here. So
Firkin's back. Package in as well here.
So Firkin is in shotgun. He's going to hand off. Anthony Coleman, the freshman, comes up. He makes the tackle. He did get beat on that one pass play to Penn, but Anthony has really played really well. For a freshman, he slipped on that one, gave up the touchdown, but if we watch this game progress, he's really competed, and he's done a really good job for a freshman playing varsity football.
Yeah, and playing against a real fine football team out here and getting lots of playing time against the Waukee Warriors. He's got a bright future.
So it's going to be 3rd and 13.
Got single matchup over there on the right-hand side with Cade Penn.
Yeah, Singbush is trying to creep over just in case to provide some additional help. It's going to be a handoff. He's going to get to the edge. I don't think he's going to get enough. He's going to step out of bounds, and it looks like he's going to be short of the first down. So
running the stretch play to the wide side of the field there, and the Dragons just were able to come up and run the alley, and Carter Wunsch's name's being called out there quite a bit at safety, and Johnston gets a stop, another stop from the defense. A defense that was on the field that's felt like the whole first half is coming out, making a couple big stops. So I don't know what Coach Weber said, what Coach Woodley said, but real positive signs out of the defense here so far.
Yeah, even on that play, if you're a Johnston defensive coach, you had a little bit of room to play. You'd like to see them extend that play just a little bit better so that the linebackers can kind of come up and fill. Ray got that corner, did a nice job, and the secondary did a good job coming up to make that tackle.
Oh, this is starting to look really similar.
It's like a mirror image of the first half,
where Johnston now is getting the field position with the wind, and so wind has definitely played a factor here in this football game. So Johnston's got the win. Lots of time still on the clock. 8:11 still on the clock, and although Johnston's offense isn't the spread, high power, fun and gun kind of offense they had in the past, this is still an offense that can score very quickly.
So yeah, I mean as shown with the last possession. So Bacon, he's going to run the veer. He's going to pitch that to T-Boy. He's going to run. He's going to got some room to the left-hand side. Cuts back to the inside, and he's going to pick up 5 yards.
Yeah, it's positive. That's positive play in this offense. You get 5 yards. Now you're sitting at second down and 5. You keep pushing forward here.
So we talked about T-Boy and making sure that he's going north and south. He found, a spot where he can cut, go north and south, and really, a nice. So it's second and 5. A nice defender's miss. Dragons.
So fast. Would make a couple guys positive yards.
Fake to
in there, and you put the stomach in the foot.
There and pick up
success in the quarterback run for enough.
He's on time by Brett Hawkins down.
Yeah, right there. He's just showing positive.
He's gonna so. Prevent
years and actually on that play I just said chop block, and on that play the right guard and right tackle chop block to give the quarterback the lane to throw the ball there, opened it up.
Yeah, I did see that Wiggins shifted from the left side of the defensive line to the other side. So again, he's kind of been, I've just been focusing on him. He's kind of been a fun guy to watch from the Waukee defensive line. So Bacon is under center. They're going to run it to the left. It doesn't look like T-Boy is going to have a whole lot of room. A lot of Warriors coming up on that play. And this is going to be an interesting call for Coach Woodley.
Yeah, you kick the ball here. You got Jansen. The flag doesn't seem to be in this north end zone. The flags at the top don't seem to be moving a whole lot. So Jansen would be looking at a 42-yard field goal. Yep. Looks like they're bringing him out.
So Jansen is going to attempt this. It's odd. We look to the south end zone. The United States flag has got a pretty stiff movement to it, but if we go look to the north end zone, no flags on the top of the uprights. So Jansen gets a kickoff. It's going to be no good. It looked like he hooked it just a little bit to the left, and a missed opportunity for the Dragons. A tough kick.
Yeah, he just
for
didn't hit
Jansen.
it clean. I'm not sure if it didn't get down clean.
It looked like the snap was just a tad bit high, and Clausen maybe struggled to get that ball down. But it's going to be the Warriors' ball at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, but if you're Johnston, you're still feeling pretty good about yourself at this point. You've shut out Waukee. You've been able to stop Waukee. You're driving the ball offensively.
So we'll see what happens here. 9:45 in the fourth quarter. They're going to turn, hand the ball off to Ray. Looked like Clausen, number 4, on the tackle. Grabs his legs and brings him to the ground. He's going to pick up 3 yards.
Yeah, he's got about 4 yards there on the play, yeah.
You know, some names that we haven't called out in a while is been the receiving core for Waukee. We haven't heard or seen much from Penn, Rose, or Grotehouse. They're 3 big weapons. So the Johnston secondary has done a great job this game in just limiting, or at least this half, and limiting the opportunities because they are a very talented receiving core. So Firkin hands off to Ray. Ray tries to extend that out.
Carl Rasmussen just right there, playing off the block, making Ray have to go outside of him, and he just strung it out. Carl played off the block and threw him down for a loss or no gain at all. So it's going to be a big third down play out of the defense again.
So Carl Rasmussen, the big senior leader on the defensive side of the football, is going to make this a 3rd and 6. A late substitution here for Waukee, number 82. Jake Shutt is coming into the game. It's a short pass, a pass that we saw a lot more in the first half. Proctor on the coverage. Couldn't see if that was Rose on the outside there or Grotehouse.
Yeah, one thing on that pass.
That's number 5. That's Rose on that. So Adam Rose, senior, he's kind of limping off on that on that play.
One thing on that pass there out of Firkin is he's got to move his feet really quick because he's opening up. He's opening up for a run on the right side, but then he's got to turn his hips all the way back around to be able to make that throw, and he does it so fast. And that play has been probably their most effective play this whole game.
So twin receivers to the right. It's going to be a handoff to Ray. A good job there by Rasmussen to cause that play to be extended, and the linebackers, Clausen, looked like Preston Arnold was in on that tackle as well. Number 21, Carter Wunsch, also coming up to make that tackle.
Yeah, that's unselfish football right there. So all Carl did is kept his outside leverage and just pushed the wide receiver, number 18 for the Waukee Warriors, Michael Winger, who's a big guy, 6'4", 190. Just pushed him into the backfield, held on to the outside, and Wunsch was able to run the alley.
So it's 2nd and 9. It's going to be another handoff. Ray slips, and that's Boris Petrusik, 69, who was kind of falling down, just extends his arm out and trips up Ray.
Yeah, Stephen Williams-Ray made that play, though. It looked like Stephen was able to get some penetration there upfield. They were looking to get the ball run outside, and the ball carrier had to go cut inside of Stephen Williams, and then Petrusik made the play. So, once again, Johnston's got Waukee and a 3rd down and long.
So the officials are kind of resetting here. Clock is running. There's 6 minutes and 55 seconds left. Waukee is still leading 30-21 against the Dragons. It's 3rd and 8. Firkin's going to take it. He looks to the outside. He's going to wing it. Proctor better turn and find the football. It's caught by Rose. Flag on the play. Regardless of the call, it's going to be a catch by Rose, and the ball's going to be at the 29-yard line.
That is a big-time pitch out of Ben Firkin right there. He's on the right hash, 30-yard line. He just threw the ball 40 yards in the air, but he threw it all the way to the left sideline. Right on the money, on pretty tight coverage there.
Yeah, we're just, Proctor would have turned and found the football. I think he would have been able to make a play on the ball. He was playing Rose, and he was right there with Rose. And Rose made a heck of a catch on that with Proctor on him and caught it regardless of the penalty. So you're right, Terry, a nice play by Firkin, an even nicer play by Rose to catch that ball. So Firkin is looking to the sidelines. A first down, big first down. The ball's on the 29-yard line. And, you know, if Waukee gets a touchdown, it's going to make this extremely difficult for the Dragons to come back.
Yep, it'll be tough.
Ray comes up. One of the linebackers or safeties came up and just missed that tackle. Looked like that was Carter Wunsch that came up, and he just missed Ray on that.
Yeah, on that play, it was a nice job. They pulled the guard to the right-hand side, and Ray did a good job reading his blocks, got a lot of positive yards. The Dragon safety came flying up, but he didn't break down and he didn't have his head up to see the ball carrier. He actually just launched his body with his head down, which is a pretty dangerous play.
So 42, Lindemann is going to get the carry, and he's going to take this into the end zone.
Flag on the play. I was wondering if they were going to throw that flag or not.
Was that against 58?
Yeah, Preston Arnold was getting held, clearly being held. He was trying to run to the ball carrier, and his jersey was being torn away from him. So that one's going to come back here. It'll set up a first down and 18 for the Warriors.
More importantly, that's going to take the points off the board and push them back. So a big penalty there. A kind of a nice. I mean, it really helps the Dragons. That Lindemann had a wide open lane there as a result of the hold, but he still had some room regardless if Arnold wouldn't have been held.
Yeah, the line's starting to impose their will once again here on the Dragons. They're finding some areas of weakness in the defense, and they're really trying to attack those areas right now. A lot of guard scheme, pulling their guards from Waukee. Once again, guard pulling.
And Clausen and Siedenberg, the linebackers, along with is that Petrusik on the carry. So 3 Dragon defenders are right there. You mentioned the guard pulled out, and then Boris Petrusik just slipped his guy to make that tackle, as well as Siedenberg and Clausen.
Yeah, Siedenberg and Clausen, I'm sure they can look back to their days at freshman football, hearing from Coach Todd, who's the linebackers coach, freshman football, and telling them, watch the guards. They tell you where the play's going, and right there they did.
So it's going to make this 2nd and 16. We're under 5.5 minutes here. Waukee 30, Johnston 21. Lineman with the carry. Not a lot there. The Dragons are starting to stiffen up here on the defensive side of football. And Coach Carlson is hoping to get some points on the board yet to extend this lead. They're under 5 minutes. Both teams still have all 3 timeouts left in the fourth quarter here. But Waukee is really in the driver's seat.
Yeah, this is smart out of Coach Carlson. I mean, he's running the ball, taking time off the clock. Johnston's coming to the run defense, running the cover 3 defense, a lot of guys up. So we'll see what Coach Carlson decides here, if he throws the ball or if he just runs it.
So it's going to be a Firkin keeper. I didn't see who quite was in on the tackle. It looked like that was Alec Jackson.
Yeah, Alec Jackson. So he's got to come off. His helmet's off his head. But Alec Jackson just did a nice job of playing off his block there, not crashing down on the fake to the running back going the opposite direction. And now Waukee's got a pretty big decision to make here. They've got themselves a nice field goal kicker.
You know, the thing that Dragons are going to struggle with is they're starting to run out of time. Their offense is not a very pass-based offense. You know, they look to run the ball, so they're going to need a big hitter. I mean, they're going to need a big play in order to really make this comeback, this dream, a reality.
Yeah, so this is a start right here. This is definitely a start for the Dragons. If they can definitely stop and get a field goal out of this play, it's still, I mean, it's obviously 2 touchdowns, or miss the field. If the Waukee Warriors miss the field goal, then obviously you have a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and then hope for a field goal out of the Dragons.
That missed field goal may end up being a play that comes back to maybe haunt them, or they're a touchdown away rather than, I mean, they still need 2 scores. So Firkin comes out, or I take that back. Number 5, Rose, comes out. He gets the snap down. That kick is going to be well short. I'm not sure. It didn't look like Crew connected with the ball. Looked like he was underneath it. And a nice stop there for the Dragons.
Yeah, Carl Rasmussen, he does a good job putting pressure on the kicker. He comes in from the right side of the Johnston defensive line, and I think he might have even got a little finger on the ball there because that ball was spinning in the air oddly from a kicker. Kind of looked like a pass almost.
So the Dragon offense is going to come out. There's 4 minutes and 24 seconds left. I've had a nice second half running the football, and Bacon is under center. So he's going to turn. He's going to hand it to T-Boy White. He's going to look again. He seems to extend out to the sideline, doesn't find a lot of room, and he's going to go get pushed out of bounds.
You know, the guy who's had a lot of success when he's touched the ball the second half has been Grant Gosling. When he has touched the ball, I mean, he's been a guy who's had a lot of success, but not sure he hasn't had a whole lot of touches here the last 2 drives. So we'll see if they look to get Gosling the ball.
So a pass to the outside to Newcomb. It's going to be a short gain.
Yeah, Newcomb took the pass there, and it looked like there was about 9 Waukee Warriors within about 5 yards of him after he took his first step. So they're flying around there on the Waukee side.
So it's going to be 3rd and 10 under 4 minutes. Coach Woodley's going to have to go for it regardless of what happens. So he may like to make this 4-down territory, look to run the football here, try to make this 3rd and 10 a little more manageable right now. So Bacon's under center. Flag on the play. Bacon's taken down for a loss. The play was dead, so whatever the penalty is here.
Yeah, the snap came up late, so it's going to be a procedure penalty on the Dragons, pushing them back 5.
So 3rd 15. The ball's going to be on the 15-yard line and pushes the Dragons back even further. So even more work for the Dragon offense here. 3rd down 15. 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. They're down 9, 30 to 21. So Bacon is under center. He drops, rolls to his right, throws to the sideline. Looks like it is caught.
Ryan Gears just made a nice catch, extending his hands out. They're running the clock, though.
I'm not sure.
Which is interesting.
That Gears didn't get out of bounds. I don't really understand that.
But he might have caught it and was sliding in bounds. I think, yeah, the Johnston sideline's kind of confused about that too, because I think they thought he was out of bounds. So
it's hard for us to see exactly where his knee went down, clear across the field. But it's going to make this a 4th and 5. So Coach Woodley is probably going to call a timeout regardless, maybe to kind of, a big 4th down play here. But, you know, I thought he was out of bounds from where we were.
Yeah, it looked like it, but now Coach Woodley's got to be thinking, 4th down and 5. What do we have for a play to get 5 yards? And on the other side, what's Waukee going to do? Are they going to look to stuff a run, or are they going to play pass?
Yeah. So we'll see how this plays out. Right now, Waukee's definitely got to like where they're sitting. Up 9, 3 minutes left, 4th and 5. So we'll see what happens. So the Dragon offense is out there. We have T-Boy White, look like Gears, and I can't tell if that's Newcomb. So he's going to roll out, throws to the sideline.
That was complete.
That is a complete catch by Gears. Gears did just enough to get the first down. It's going to stop the clock. A nice throw by Jared Bacon. Gears just kind of found an open spot and just settled up there.
Pat Primrose just jumped that little stop route. Bacon trying to throw to number 87, Noah Richards there, and the ball, luckily for Johnston, was dropped by Primrose, or that would have been the ball game right there with 2:41 left.
I wonder if you're Johnston, you go back or you roll to that side and you look back to the middle of the field. Early in that or late in that first half, they threw it up to Carl Rasmussen, and he was wide open across the middle of the field. So I don't know if he sneaked that back, the opposite receiver across and tried to cut him across the middle.
Yeah, that could be a play
and
call
it's going to be a sack.
There's
There's Bacon. That was more of a covered sack, but he was brought down by 94. There was another defensive lineman that was in there as well. Looked like 64. So two big backs, defensive linemen. That's Dominic Bachem Lemvan. First time we've called his name tonight. A screen
set up. T-Boy, he's got a blocker out there.
And he does a good job finding some space on a 3rd and 14 to get the first down and also out of bounds.
Yeah, T-Boy could have really benefited there for one of those tearaway jerseys. Had he had that tearaway jersey there, he probably wouldn't have been slowed up quite as much, but he still gets first down.
Yeah, there was a close, looked like a hold there almost on one of the Johnston offensive linemen. I thought they got away with one there. So Bacon's back there. The Johnston offense is really looking to move the ball. It's going to be outside to Gears. He's going to get to the outside. Number 1. Brett Hawk is on the outside. Just a size difference there between Gears and him.
Yeah, Ryan Gears been really impressive in the last couple weeks. I know he's an intelligent young man. I had him in class. But he catches the football with his hands extended away from the body, which is what you always want a wide receiver to do. And then right there, he got physical with a stiff arm and got himself out of bounds to save a timeout.
So, a minute 59. The Dragons are moving the ball. The Waukee Warriors are kind of just trying to kill some of this time, extend this drive, make the Dragons use a lot of time. And, I mean, the Dragons still have some work to do. They're going to need an onside kick. They only have one timeout left. So they're going to need some magic here in order to make this comeback a win.
Yeah, the percentages are definitely, as this clock ticks away, the percentages really go down for the Johnston comeback. But we saw a weird thing happen last week where really late touchdown there out of Urbandale, and then got to recover the onside kick. So you never know what's going to happen.
So the Dragons are going to be just short of the first down. They're moving the ball to the left hash, kind of setting this up. It's going to stop the clock, giving kind of the Dragons an advantage here. But I guess I take that back. Gears was out of bounds. The clock was already stopped.
Yeah, that's what made that play so smart out of Ryan Gears, that he was able to run out of bounds, save that timeout for the Dragons.
So the Lions crew over there struggling a little bit right now. Things are falling off. Bacon's under center. He's going to sneak, and he's going to pick up more than enough for the first down.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. No, they're calling a play, and I was wondering if they had two plays called. They had their quarterback sneak and then the next play called, but they should get this play out pretty quick. Yeah, it looks like over there on the sideline they need to get a little bit more stick-em on the stick over there to keep the pad on.
Oh, Guscane was barely set on that play. Throw it away, Jared, and he's going to throw it to Gannon Sweska. He was running across the field. Great coverage there by Waukee. Not a lot. There was only, two receivers out on the play. Both were covered really well by the Waukee defense, and Jared just had to throw that ball away.
Yeah, Waukee's just going to play coverage here. Surprisingly, though, when they're playing coverage, their safeties aren't that deep from the ball. Their safeties are only playing 8 yards deep, which typically – you get safeties 8 yards deep, you're thinking, oh, they're playing the run game. So they've got they're playing a cover 4, but they're not very deep. So
in the speed at this point in the game, they're realizing that they're probably faster than the Johnston receiver. So that speed might be a little bit different.
Oh, that's a good read out of Jared right there.
If that could have been a block by Sweska.
But Jared got hit.
He is laying down, and he is not moving. This is not a good spot. I see his arms come to his chest.
Yeah, he had that happen last week as well, where he's just vulnerable when he throws that ball out there. Quarterback's got his arm up in the air, and so it looks like it's going to be a personal foul, roughing the passer. But the more important thing is what's the health of Jared Bacon right now.
So we'll have to. Jared will be out of the play. I see his feet moving. It was just a hard hit. It might have hit his head on that field turf, and there's not a lot of give there. So we'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, and you also bring up a good point there about when you get hit, then you have your head hitting the back of the turf there, and that's a lot of times how concussions occur. So don't want to speculate exactly what happened to Jared, but he did take a real big hit on that play.
So that's going to get number 12, Grant Kramer, the junior. He had a little bit of action last week to come in for Bacon. I don't foresee Jared coming back this week again or tonight, just with everybody kind of around here. And the hit that he took. So a lot of coaches, a lot of medical staff that's over there kind of looking at Jared's health. So wishing him the best. It looks like he's kind of sitting up. That might be one of the concussions that we're talking about here. Coach Woodley's and Coach Cruiser are going to regroup some of these guys. We see Jared being kind of helped off the field, hoping he's all right. He's a tremendous young man. You worry about what he's like. You can see he's kind of wobbly here. So, it looks like a concussion just him walking off the field, Terry.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he exactly knows necessarily what's going on. He's got the medical staff, great medical staff here at Johnston taking care of him, and we'll just hope for the best for Jared here for the future.
So puts the ball at the 18-yard line. There's a minute 33 left. It'll be Grant Kramer, number 12, leading the Warrior offense. He's under center. It's going to take him quite a bend to get down there. He's 6'6", and not a lot of room there. Looked like that was T-Boy White on the carry.
Yeah, Wiggins is in there. Wiggins is in there again. Number 40 is in there again for Jacob McDonald. He leads the team in tackles.
So quickly under center. An incomplete pass that was intended for. Looked like that's 85 on the outside. That would be Jacob Newcomb. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. So if you're Coach Woodley, you don't get the first down here. Do you kick the field goal and then try the onside kick, Terry?
Yeah, that actually might be the strategy here with Jared getting evaluated on the sideline. You got a young guy in there at quarterback who almost threw a pick six right there. And you might just look to give the ball to Grant Gosling in this situation and then get your kicker out there.
So Grant Kramer's going back. He's got to throw that ball away, and he does not. He takes that sack. It's going to be a big loss. A player that doesn't have a lot of varsity action, that's a big sack. It's a huge loss. The ball is going to be at the 31-yard line, and the time is running out on this Dragon comeback.
Yeah, so Johnston let a lot of time run off the clock there. And now they take a timeout here with 44 seconds left to talk it over, see what they're going to do. But Grant Kramer's brought into a tough situation there, being asked to pass the ball. The worst thing possible that you could do is obviously throw interception, but then the second worst would be take a sack, and that's what they just did. So time's running out on the Dragons.
Yeah, there's 44 seconds left. The reality is they're going to try a field goal and see what happens. And then, that's the best thing you can do right now is just try to put 3 points on the board, get that the onside kick. If you don't get the onside kick, game's over. So Bray Jansen's going to try a long one. He's going to be at the 38. It's going to be a 48-yarder into a slight breeze, kind of a crosswind here. He missed earlier in the game. He's hit from farther, but he's going to be short on this one. So that's going to wrap up this game. Waukee's going to step out hustle out, take a knee, and really a tale of two halves. A half of where that was a Waukee-led half where they got 30 points, and a half where Johnston, in the second half, they got 14 points. Johnston kind of came out flat, didn't have an answer for Waukee's offense, and got behind 30-0.
Yeah, Waukee was out hitting on all cylinders, and in the first half, we thought this might have been a running clock type of game. So credit to Johnston coming out here the second half, shutting out this powerful Waukee offense, and there's a lot to look at on the game film for the Dragons here.
Yeah, I mean there's positives on for both teams. Waukee's got to be happy with how their offense moved the ball in the first half. Obviously happy that they got the win. That's going to put them at 2-2. This is the first loss on the season for Johnston. So they did a lot of really nice things. They're coming into to Johnston tonight and coming up with that big win. The other thing that Johnston's still got to remember is that they didn't give up. They were down 30-0, fought back, got 21 points, made this a competitive battle. An entertaining game to watch. It's just one of those things where you have to be able to stop the Warrior offense. You got to take advantage of turnovers, take advantage of opportunities, and the Dragons didn't do that tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing on the film that they're going to look at is those plays. Coach Kirk Ferentz always talks about usually there's 10 plays that you can look at in a football game, and when you look at this football game, you can look back to some of those plays. Pick six. Touchdown in the end zone before half that gets dropped.
That's 14 points right there.
That's 14 points right there. Missed coverage, slip on the coverage, touchdown pass. So lots of things to learn from the Dragons. They got a young guy out there, Anthony Coleman, who really stepped up tonight and proved that he can play in the CIML at one of the most difficult positions against a phenomenal receiving core out of Waukee. So that's another positive here. If you're Waukee, you feel good about yourself. First half, second half, not so good, but a lot of times it is hard to come out in that second half when you're ahead by as much as you are, and you think that the game might be over. So
some other things that Johnson's got to be concerned with. Their senior quarterback, Jared Bacon, is banged up here a little bit. He's still being attended to by some of the medical staff. He's upstanding, but he's a quarterback that this offense really works well with. Grant Kramer is a different type of athlete than Jared is. So what do you do if Jared's out for an extended period of time? So I mean, you hope the best for Jared. He's a really good kid. And you just hope he's going to be fine, and that the Dragons can build off this game and really look to improve on this season yet. They've still got some work to do. Obviously, there's a lot of talent. They can beat good teams. They've shown that. But this is a game where they also got exposed, and that's what you have to do is make those adjustments and move on to the next week.
Yeah, and one thing real quick, I don't know if the camera was on there, but really classy move out of Waukee. Coaches came over, wanted to make sure Jared was okay. Number 7, who put the big hit on Jared, Nick Anderson, he came over as well, wanted to make sure Jared was okay. So nice job out of the Waukee coaches and out of Nick Anderson for coming over. That's what high school sports are about.
So that's going to wrap up tonight's coverage. We thank you for joining in. Again, a good high school battle. The Waukee Warriors come out victorious, 30-21, and we will be back here in a couple weeks, coming back to you live. I know against Roosevelt will be the next game where we'll be back. The Dragons play Des Moines North this coming week. So, a game that they're hoping to win, but we won't be back here. Terry and I won't be back here for a couple weeks. So we hope you guys enjoy some other high school games around the metro area, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.